Our next card is the Hierophant as the interface. Unmasked, the Hierophant is not a priest, a sage, or a keeper of divine truth. It is the archetype of internalized authority, the voice inside you that speaks with a tone of supposed to. It is everything you learned before you had the power to question. The rules you inherited, the rules you absorbed, the beliefs you repeated because someone older, louder, and more powerful said they were true. The Hierophant is the archetype of institutional imprinting, the way families, religions, cultures, school systems, and early relationships plant invisible shoulds in the psyche until they sound like your own thoughts. This card, Unmasked, is not about wisdom. It is about indoctrination, not always malicious, but always formative. It is the architecture of conformity that shapes the pattern you later call my nature. The Hierophant is the archetype that whispers, "This is how you behave here. This is who you must be to belong. And this is how good people act." And because these messages were learned early, they feel like truth instead of programming. The Hierophant's control grid interface operates through pressure to comply. Its power does not come from force, but from the threat of losing belonging. It is the interface that teaches you to minimize yourself to keep peace, to abandon your needs to avoid guilt, to follow rules you never agreed to stay silent to maintain harmony, to make decisions based on obligation, not desire, to keep up appearances even when they exhaust you. The Hierophant interfaces directly with your nervous system. When you consider breaking a rule, your body reacts with tension, shame, or unease. Not because you were wrong, but because you were trained to interpret autonomy as danger. This card is the matrix of inherited expectations. It is a code that says, don't question, don't change the pattern, don't disrupt what keeps everyone else comfortable. This is why the Hierophant is such a powerful interface. It frames obedience as virtue and self-abandonment as the price of belonging. The trap mechanism of the Hierophant is ritualized obedience. This trap forms when you internalize the idea that the safest path is the one with the fewest questions. So you follow scripts, not because they fit you, but because they are familiar. There are 3 primary mechanisms. 1, inherited roles. You unconsciously adopt a role assigned early in life: the caretaker, the peacemaker, the golden child, the fixer, the obedient one, the strong one, and the quiet one. You play the role long after it stops being true. Number 2, loyalty contracts. You stay loyal to beliefs or behaviors simply because they're old. You feel like changing them is a betrayal. The contract is outdated, but your psyche keeps honoring it. Number 3, the good person trap. You equate compliance with goodness and resistance with danger. So you shrink, soften, or silence yourself to maintain an identity you were rewarded for in childhood. The mechanism is simple. If you obey, you belong. If you deviate, you risk exile. This trap binds you to the idea that safety is found in sameness, even when sameness suffocates you. The escape key for the Hierophant is inner authority. The moment you recognize that the voice of supposed to was never your true voice, your liberation begins with one realization: I am allowed to choose differently. This escape key is not rebellion, it's discernment. It's the quiet moment when you understand that the rule book you've been following was written for someone who no longer exists. You break this trap by questioning it, not dramatically, intimately. You begin asking, is this value mine or inherited? Is this obligation real or taught? Do I want this, or was I told I want this? Does this belief honor me or limit me? Every answer you uncover replaces external authority with internal sovereignty. This is the initiation the Hierophant offers: to become your own teacher, your own interpreter, your own guide. Not rejecting the old system, but outgrowing it. So let's look at the card. For symbols, we have the raised hand. Symbol of blessing turns symbol of control. It represents permission, who you must seek it from and who you must reclaim it from. The triple crown, layers of authority: social, spiritual, psychological. Each tier represents a domain where expectations were imposed. The crossed keys, knowledge given and knowledge withheld. The reminder that access to inner truth was once mediated by external gatekeepers. The disciples kneeling, symbol of hierarchical learning. The belief that truth descends from above instead of rising from within. The pillars, structure, tradition, lineage. They mark the threshold between who you were taught to be and who you actually are. And the scepter, power guided downwards, enforcing order rather than encouraging sovereignty. Every symbol in this card shows the architecture of conditioning and the path out of it. So here's your spoken declaration that you can say to yourself. The beliefs that shaped me are not the limits of who I am. I release the roles I was trained to play. I withdraw my loyalty from expectations that diminish me. What was taught to me is not required of me. My inner authority rises. My truth leads now. So here's a recap. The architecture, internalized authority and inherited roles. The interface, conditioning, compliance pressure, somatic obedience. The trap mechanism, ritualized conformity and loyalty contracts. The escape key, inner authority, and questioning inherited beliefs. The symbolic architecture, the raised hand, the triple crown, cross keys, disciplines, pillars, and scepter. Spoken declaration, what was taught to me is not required of me. So this card was one gate in the system, and every gate reveals another pattern, another mechanism, another key. If this one opens something for you, wait until you see what the next card is hiding. Walk through the next gate.